Through the COVID-19 shutdown, teenagers lost many of their social outlooks. We were no longer able to go to concerts, school, sporting events, or even hangouts with bigger groups of people. Since March 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic has devastated the whole country. There was no one that wasn't impacted. Although children and adolescents may appear to be less at risk for severe COVID-19 symptoms, the pandemic has significantly disrupted our lives in many other ways.
School went from having classrooms full of students and laughter to what feels like endless days spent alone at home finishing assignments by their deadlines.
What I miss most about going back to school normally would be interactions with my friends. I got to go off campus every day for lunch, and I also had a lot of school-specific friends who I would see in the hallways, who I would see in classes, and who I'd be able to talk to every day. And that was a really nice aspect of socialization, being able to talk to people.
Coronavirus has definitely impacted my social life in and out of school. In school, not being able to have clubs or watch sports games or just see as many people as I normally would has definitely been more difficult.
Now I have to do school over a computer and stuff, and lunch at school I can't talk to nobody, and we have to stay 6 feet apart. And now I don't know what half my friends are doing.
COVID-19 has affected my school because I don't learn as well online as I would in school. We also have shortened classes, so we don't get all the information as we would in school.
Being back in school after almost a year is pretty weird, but honestly it's not that much of a difference from online for me. At school I get to talk to my teachers again, which is really nice. I like that. And I get to talk to some kids in my class.
Before COVID-19, when school was fully in person, my only real social interactions were in the physical building, during the classes, in the hallway, or at lunch. And so when we went virtual, I didn't really have that many social interactions, and so I got really bored.
I had to take care of my brothers a lot because my parents have to be working, and I have to stay at home with them. It is kind of difficult to stay focused in online classes because all the distractions and stuff.
And I like being back in school, actually. I just kind of miss the normalcy of it all.
I miss school. It's tell me that if I would have said that to myself a year ago when I was a freshman, going to school every day, and everybody was like, oh, why do we have to go to school? School's so boring. I miss the normal school environment, having lunch and making jokes with my friends at lunch and just having fun. And it's definitely a different school experience that I would do anything to go back and have a normal, regular day of school.
Crowds at sporting events went from student sections filled to the brim to rows of empty bleachers.
At Leesville High School, I'm on the dance team. COVID has had a large impact on the dance team. We are only able to perform at 3 football games this season. We have to wear face masks, and there are a limited amount of tickets sold.
The way COVID has affected me is through swim, because I haven't been able to train as hard and as often as I used to, so I've not been having as many opportunities like swim meets and moving up opportunities.
I have to get up at 4 in the morning to take one of my daughters to practice, and I don't even get to see her compete.
When I go to wrestling practice, I have to have my mask on, and we take COVID temperatures. We can't do a lot of things like we used to, like work out in the weight room.
It's affected my sport because I now only play beach volleyball instead of indoor because it is outside. We also have to social distance at practices and get our temperatures taken before each practice.
I am on the football team and the baseball team at Leesville. Right now we're in the middle of our football season, and it's really just so aggravating that we can't play our regular amount of games that we would usually play in a normal year.
With football starting in the spring this year, it's been a real different schedule change, and some I've had to get used to and adapt to.
The game day experience, it's not the same. You don't have a whole community behind you, supporting you, cheering, screaming in the stands. You really miss that.
It shut down cross country and track, which I do through the school. My training took a hit there, but the team kind of worked around it we just organized ourselves without the school and the coaches. We would just go for runs, just the kids, and we had to organize that. So it's a little less organized. The participation went down a lot, which is a little bit upsetting, but we were able to work around it.
Many teenagers had to change their birthday parties with their friends to drive-bys where they could wave to their peers out of car windows or to small gatherings that fit COVID-19 restriction guidelines.
So I had to celebrate my birthday during quarantine. It is something that I will definitely not forget, especially since it is my 16th birthday. I was expecting to celebrate it a little bit differently, maybe with a big party or something, a lot of friends. My parents scheduled a drive-by for us, and we got to see a lot of our friends. Some of them didn't come because it was during a pandemic, but we did get to have fun while being socially distanced, 6 feet apart, and having our masks on.
This year I had to get a smaller group for my party, and I had to do everything outside and plan everything outside. Couldn't go inside. Something that I liked because of COVID was that it's a little bit more personal. I only had to invite like my really close friends. It was a lot easier to plan, and it isn't as chaotic as it would be if COVID was a thing and I had invited more people.
Life hasn't been incredibly difficult. It's just been, it's just taken some getting used to. And, change is going to happen always. And, that's, more so in some years than others.
It's been really tough on me, especially knowing that I'm a teenager right now and I'm in the high school years of life, that everybody older than you will tell you to cherish these moments, cherish this time as a teenager and as a high schooler, because you'll never be able to go back to them. I just really, really hope that we can get out of it as soon as possible and I can go back to having good times and enjoying the time of life I'm in right now.